How's it going, y'all? Bluegrass Sports Media here, and I'm going to talk about how South Carolina just paid Will Muschamp $13.2 million to go sit on his ass for the next 3 years or whatever he wants to do. So, getting into this, Will Muschamp has led South Carolina to a 2-5 season so far, with losses to Tennessee, LSU, and recently this last week, Ole Miss 59-42. And that must have been the straw that broke the camel's back, because South Carolina fires him after giving up 59 points. When defense is your calling card as a defensive coordinator, giving up 59 points when you're already on the hot seat definitely will get you fired. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about potential replacements for Muschamp and where I think South Carolina should go from here, and what I think. But at the end of the video, I'll tell you what I think they will do, because just because it's what they should do doesn't mean that's what they are going to do. First on my list is Hugh Freeze. Now, Hugh Freeze is a weird case, because I've heard a lot of South Carolina fans talking about Hugh Freeze. There are two problems with Hugh Freeze. One, he signed a contract to Liberty a few days ago that keeps him there through 2026. He's making about $3 million a year, I believe it is. I don't see him signing a contract and then leaving. He is a scumbag, which brings me to my second point. He's been blackballed more than Kim Kardashian. He's been caught cheating more times than Tiger Woods. The guy's just a habitual cheater. He's a terrible. He did terrible things to Ole Miss after he left. It's just, if you move him on campus, he's probably bringing a lot of NCAA authorities with him that's going to be in your shit all the time. It's just not worth the headache. And don't get me wrong, he's a great coach. He's a great offensive mind. He's did great things at Liberty. But he's blackballed from the SEC. He can't come in without. You guys are going to get sanctions within the first year. Okay, which brings us to my next person on the list, Mike Bobo. Mike Bobo was the head coach at Colorado State. Got fired from there and became the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. Mike Bobo is who I assume will take over as the interim coach for Muschamp. The only problem I see with Mike Bobo taking over as the head coach is he was on the staff with Muschamp before. So I don't see the administration keeping on a person who's on the staff before just because of the fan base. So you're telling me you fire the head coach and promote the offensive coordinator. That's not going to go over well with the fan base, and this has already been a PR nightmare for South Carolina, having to pay out, I think it's $13.2 million in the middle of a pandemic when people are hurting for money. That's why I don't think Mike Bobo is going to get the job. Will he get an interview? Yes. I just don't think they're going to go in that direction. Next up on the list is Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell's the head coach at Cincinnati, sorry. Cincinnati's been drumming people lately. They've been killing people. They just beat the hell out of ECU. I think it was on Friday night. They've been killing people lately because they think they have a shot to make the playoffs, and the only shot they have to make the playoffs is if they beat people by 50. So Luke Fickell would be a great hire if South Carolina could get him. I don't see South Carolina getting him, and here's why. Luke Fickell has already turned down a Power 5 job. He turned down the job at Michigan State. I don't see the job at South Carolina being better than the job at Michigan State. Michigan State and South Carolina seem to be on about an even playing field to me. So I feel like Luke Fickell is waiting for a job that he covets to open up before he leaves Cincinnati, which is a smart decision, because you take the wrong job, you'll be there a couple of years and you're out. I got some long shots on my list here. My first long shot, And this is who, if I was the AD of South Carolina, I would go for. I would go hire, or at least interview. Matt Entz. I know a lot of you guys are like, who's Matt Entz? Matt Entz is the head coach at North Dakota State. What does South Carolina need right now? South Carolina needs a person who can come in, install the culture there, and develop talent. That's all North Dakota State does. They have a culture. They develop talent. That's a Division II talent. And they dominate the FCS every year. I think that would be the best person for this job, is to go get a guy who can put a culture in, can develop talent, and who's a great football coach. And he's going to bring a great development staff to South Carolina, which is what you're going to have to do, because at South Carolina you do have some 4- and 5-star kids, I think, but most of your kids are 3 stars that need to be developed, and that's where you're getting beat by the Tennessees and the Kentuckys and the other teams in the SEC. They're developing their 3 stars better than you all, so I think that'd be a great hire. Last person on the list is Jamie Caldwell. Jamie Caldwell is the head coach at Coastal Carolina. They're undefeated. They're in the top 25. He's in the state of South Carolina. Coastal Carolina has beat Power 5 teams. He's just a name that I've heard a lot of South Carolina fans talking about. And I looked him up, and he has a pretty good track record. I think he was a coordinator in the SEC at one point. But yeah, if I was them, I think I would go in the direction of Matt Entz, though. I think Matt Entz can come in and develop the talent. Now, what do I think South Carolina will do? I think they're going to hire Hugh Freeze, man. I think they're going to pay him a lot of money to leave Liberty, and I really do think they're going to be in a bad spot in a couple of years with NCAA rule violations. They may be good for a year, but then after they get caught, they're going to be in a rough spot. All right, guys. Well, that's been my video. I really appreciate. Also, shout out to BVD and Carter for letting me on the stream and getting me a lot of the subscribers I have now. Go ahead and, if you're not a subscriber, hit the subscribe button below and leave me a comment. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.